27th. Say Obrasochi the Wokwa. Say Obrasochi the Berko. Shira Berko, Nami Shira So should be no sini sika kan se Cristo ashawa Shika tino sika tu nito usu akachani usu fieno Shira Budi Shira Shenyo Ensi wokono yakasi oketo Mangu bintu nabi sheni naso Shira pinok ang bofo beshe Achichi wuli kwa kwentu yimu Kaibu Shira mubodi Shiva 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 Amen. Amen. My IBC trust na openi ajima abompa yedi jumedia anyway bidi ashinyaminsa.
I did for Messi na ya bro ya come say na ya bo empire. Ya mbofo ni entefo. Ene so ya da wasibio. Owodo wa yemye. Ene obambo a wa mano ayedofu e wonyenso. Ya da wase se da so etiase. Ene wo ba ene ya ba wonimu. Yesra wo se oye moboy. Na bra ya bayi no yesra wo se ode padishimoja no ebetew ye ho. Na ye ho aise sutrema. Yesra pa ne se ode wotinene atade ne bi ebehyen. Na yetumi ase afata ewonim. Edon mu yehie mu pese atiw twediampon woni. Wapa wakoa Mr. Berko kasa afanu edi akyerɛ titiw yɛde wono edi kan ahyɛ wo twediampon wonsa.
Amen.
Fane yɛsɛ doben na kasa no mu fa kyerɛ wo ma. Yɛde akoma a ahyia ɛwɔ fiti so nyina ɛhyɛ wonsa. De yɛsrɛ wo ne sɛ nka asa akoma bi anya te sɛ asase pɛsɛ yɛ a wo na me wo nhyira wo so edi kan gu so. Na bra wonam wakoa Berko so kasa akyerɛ yɛn no yɛtumi agye wasɛm edi abɔbra. Yɛn so pɛsɛ esi yɛn kra ene yɛn nipadua ene sikasɛm nyinaa ɛyie. Ntina ende wapaw wakoa sɛ onkasa nkyerɛ yɛn sɛ meeting awie no yɛbɛyɛ nhyira ahyɛ wo den kopɛ no nyam. Yɛda wase sɛ wo kan yɛn wo Yesu dem nti. Amen.
Amen. Nyamema enyumere so yesan mai nyina ye ho akwa babio eba Queens District Women Ministries ye program a besiada bia ye di nim sɛ ye baso a ye nhyira na ye nim sɛ ye do tax season nti enyumere nyame eyi ye mpani bia wonim ehunu die pa na opese ochurch ye enyumere de opese woni eche no say preparing for 2023 tax season. See, opening and you may, I mean, I'm so the church no, opening Mr. Isaac Berko, opening Mr. Isaac Berko. Mr. saying, na, you be mute and line. Na, in say your questions be brave. Mr. Berko, we are, he beat me every say your questions, sir. You won't see Mr. Berko, Pacho, Mijai, Hasi, Emma, Yada, Sipanya, Michelle.
All right. You better than me as a numeric bureau said. Or my akunya. Say, yen samban and nimna. Ye message in Sikasem, Elmo, Ade. Na, me person because will be at Tameka.
Pepa Chay Tonka.
Okay, good. All right. And you marry the you ever come home seminar, say CC home for the taxes, you know. I believe that so first one will be taxes, and they're very important. Say bit man no too, so I may have kind down as much as possible. The kind of I do what me person may come in now tears and say American system is structured in such a way, say so all your business transaction be what tax implication organization now in the year, and they will send a copy of the documentation to the IRS. So, men fancy be employed, you know. You at the end of the year, and in your W2s from our employers. One thing we need to know is that all our W2s are sent, copies of them are sent to the IRS. So they have a record of all of that. Men fancy be at 1099 or a contractor. Copies of those are sent to the IRS by the Oishuma owner. What on stock, like a statement, they send copies to the IRS. A mortgage statement, this is from 1098. The message is all those documents are all tax implications in it, and as all tax impacts in it. Those that have issued them to you send copies to the IRS as well. That is the reason why it's very important. So, obey include all your documentation in filing your taxes, and because the moment obey ignore being an asset, obey be a free money now. Oh yeah, amanoma a drain. Now, before I even delve into it, you know, there are consequences when we do not include all our documents in filing our taxes. Your FBB statute of limitations, federal government has shared through the IRS. Now that statute of limitations, a casafa men fancy beer. So what file taxes in 2023? Generally, after 3 years, from 2023, which is around 2026, the IRS may not pursue you again. In other words, say na bibia you okay after 3 years, omunu kan some sabi do a chibio say be a BBC anko na BBC anko. There are instances where they have the right to still pursue you after 3 years. One of them may say, one understate your income by about 25% or more. In other words, let's say your income was $100,000. Now W2 could be $25,000, whether by mistake and I say be a shedder, say tax prepare a new free move because a car boka $25,000 or more out of that 100,000. That means that you've understated your income by 25% or more. So the statute of limitations it extends from 3 years to 6 years. In other words, 3 years and then after 3 years and I extend the course 6 years. Because you've understated your income by 25% or more. Now, the third one here, when you purposely decide to evade taxes. So, we share that say be file taxes and as be to evade taxes. The IRS can pursue you up to 1 million years from the tax season. In other words, there is no statute of limitation when you decide to evade tax. They can always come after you. Na Mamenka we want some quickly. I think they're very important. You will be a friend of tax evasion and a tax avoidance. Because a tax avoidance are legal. In other words, because a tax avoidance are from Sunni. Tax avoidance and they say, I finance one all your taxes. But only memorandum, and based on a memorandum, what to me, are your taxes in such a way as a one mocker? And your tax avoidance, you've worked through the laws to avoid taxes. And from so be anyhow. But tax evasion, when you know you have to file taxes and you are purposely trying to evade it by one way or the other. And idea, say a choa, send a statute of limitations and unlimited, so they can pursue you anytime. One more thing. So the IRS can normally they have 10 years to pursue the debts from you. Sometimes if you are with normal customer arrangements, be able to me, it will can be my be able to my payment plan. Which of course it will still be attracting interest and all that. But after 10 years, or major or cheat. But so normally 10 years, within the 10 years, not just so now the more can for the answer because be on about how so here na ebiana or your machine. They are very important. They make say zero taxes in one. So this brings in the concept of tax planning, which is very important. And yes, I feel like we are not work tax preparer. I say, "Yeah, magic man, na minti refund." So the team says tax season, cocoa season. We always give pressure. Tax preparers, more pressure. This will be ethical standards. Or from an ACB, so only any good moral standards. And I was why they own kanama. Ubinya faso, Ubinya refund, but one here actually now was it. And I've had instances where people have called me, but they have called me talking about Uncophobia Faswa after the Semaba or Faso. And they are very important. The here say over prepare ye for the tax season. Not after the Sembreno Swan. One tax preparer based on engagements or no Benyan, Commod, deal no Benyano, who can about Faso. They have amount of taxes and I come up. So, if I'm assuming this would be a because we normally advise a proper so being a CPA and I say be an road agent and I say be a tax lawyer. Now, wow. I hear people Friday, not make call post office, not me, dim post office box Jumana. The old museum say, dear Jumana, me and I'm so. May accountant no so your tax nam say yes me taxes and I busam say the solar panel on what try say or taxes now to solar panel no this year when I say Kobenya credit $11,000 but it's carrying forward to the following year in the margin I'm saying and I say how to look at your tax situation in its entirety. Because sometimes you are based on your income or there are limitations, they have to carry forward a whole lot of other factors. And I'm saying you really need a CPO to help you, and I can help you in that sense. And I'll say, some could $300. We say, they make Ghana new. I'll say, some could $300. I'm a CPA dear, and yes, and me, I'm a try, and I'm saying, sure. So that's how tax credit here. O can say 11,000 when you braces can as a this year go pay. If you can see people to have more money as 11,000, that's also charge you $500 to Corana. Still, I know when you're for 10,500. Now, when you are losing the whole 11,000, and it's over to us out to 300 now, no, when you're for so the henna, now for the was very important. I know people are starting, they are doing their own taxes. But as of income, no cost role, and we other investments, started getting complex, and they reach out to CPS, and I've had people who have reached out to me to help in that sense. And because I want money, peace of mind, especially when the person doing they know what they are doing, and they are making sure they're not creating any problems for you. And the tax planning idea is very important. Tax planning, and they say throughout the year, no, over planning for taxes. What I normally say is that if you are undertaking any transaction or financial impacts, and normally the transactions that have financial impacts also have tax impacts. Most of them, it be auto stocks, auto fee, auto second home, or stocks we have also company no book and do also, but also you be at a loss. You know, you want to venture into real estate and any kind of business, you know, it's very important for you to consult your CPA. Now, say, balance obey me advice as to the best course of action. And the tax planning, no, and do both say tax planning, no, by the end of the year, no, I want to CPA, no, be in constant touch. Now, for the what planning for taxes now, you know, the outcome of most of the events I cause during the year have financial impact. And then I also know about it. CPA, tax preparer, and your magic amount in right. And talking about that, and we jump right into tax season. The tax season is opening in Yambo, China. They also Didi can I am say so tax preparer, especially for a CPA, they charge some charge by the hour and some charge flat fees and all that. It depends on the way you man. But they're very important, and they say if your documents are very organized, that they charge you reasonably. But so documents are haphazard, and you're very organized, that they are going to charge you more. They are very important all the time. No over-organize your documents. And they are assuming or documents, and they say, you know, from all sources, it could be electronic, and I say be paper or electronic document. You need to make sure that during the year, electronic, he say receipts fancy be as whole business, and I say be seller individual, you may want to itemize. Maybe or some significant medical expenses near all those stuff, charitable donations or receipts. Say electronic crana so power work a picture. Now they are sending email now or download now what's able into a folder on your computer. Then you name the folders. Okay, where you say where tax receipts, where you say paper on so na draw a beer now they are kushim. So I finish on also way na organize it. Okota superior na they are name. To know if so them the way or no be who come for so their boy. But when they are not organized, that it creates so much work. Most of the time, they end up charging you more. They're very, very important. Now, important information as you say, keeping it out one place, to make proper organization. These include ABR income, any expenses are cost during the year. Now, today I'm talking about preparation, not about the concept of taxation, but talking about preparation. And most of these documents are very common documents that we all know. Fancy or W2s, sometimes, always happening online from a company's portal. Sometimes, and I say for the most part, your company mail them to you. They buy not their baby. They buy not courses, not they go so. And the W2 from employers are one. They are told me 1099s. We all know that 1099s could be, from different sources. Sometimes maybe a bit interest be a union or savings be an answer be a certificate of deposit be out or time deposit be out. The bank will send you a 1099 INT, which is for the interest. So I'm making all these documents and they send copies to the IRS. More union say so they come about Bokanti year from 1099. There are many different kinds of 1099. And I owe other payers. Sometimes you do something and maybe the institution had to pay you something and all that. And the 1099 document be also now all their come home. That's the paradigm the obey no. Your documents be to say 1099 case K no very crucial. Why am I saying that? On says in your third party networks say more cash up no. I your talks through cash up on they see at the end of the year and they say no. Omunya statements through the cash up no. And no. Report or stocks are now on into third party transactions in no. Some of those things come into play. And in other words, in any of the documents we answer can be a tax document 1099 and all that, gather them, your tax preparer knows what to do with them. Your 1099 NEC, which is non-employee compensation, men fancy be why you be as a contractor now when you employee. They may give you a 1099 NEC and I say be a 1099 miscellaneous, depending on the type of the contract, you put all of them together. I think I've already talked about 1099 INT when you are paid interest, as well as records of documents. I had documenting all your digital asset transactions, and cryptos and all those come into play. Yeah, well, from 1098, which is very popular with the more mortgage interest, And it's at 1098, so if you're not a mortgage for the most part, you receive it from your bank or from your lender. I show your interest, your real estate taxes, and other information. But normally, your interest I would do to around the year, and points I would do any property taxes and any time matter. If you have a mortgage insurance premium, sometimes it's also shown on there. Very important. Yes. And those who have dependents on mutuals coming home, it could be your child, IBA, daycare, and I say after school care. It could be parents be an asabia or be aware or depending on you. Utueska miesheno. All those documents in Nano. You need to gather them together at one place. And here, child independent for provider receipts, they'll normally give a receipt with their tax IDs on there. Charitable donations are very key. Charitable donations, are very important to say. Someone said, maybe I don't go for people agreeing any animal. So people think that, or titles are not friends in one out to me and then they file it. But truly, maybe so called closet and also wardrobe. There are things that for so many years, for maybe I'm from Sankai. A bit my empabwa, a bit my entire a bit of 9 musicians or musical instruments. It could be anything at all. Because as already stores bit is a goodwill and volunteers of America in those places and they accept those things and they'll sell them as second-hand products. And before the end of the year, and I said before 31st December each year, with my planet, now I could donate this animal on the mount. Receipt indicating those items. Sometimes under the value of the items, so all those things could come together with title of offerings are none bit me as part of your deductions. Sometimes volunteer work it could be medical and I say be non-medical or mileage or the they are all part of our charitable donations, Yeah, very important. You keep all those documents near the IAE. Medical expenses, medical expense receipts are very important. Why am I saying this? Because if you want to itemize it, medical expenses and also you can itemize a portion of it, which is very important. If you own a business, whether a small or a large business, it's very important that during the year, we keep your records in shape. We normally recommend that employ a consultant and as a beer, be a one full timer or your bookkeeping any work accounting amount. We help some businesses in that regard because a Boama books in very good shape at the end of the year, taxes in say records are very easy to pull. That's will be or undocumented that or coba no yes can escape go bank account na boza or now not be expenses na oboza unya records be I've had clients that no more that situation I shall say, and it was challenging for them for taxes, for the first time. It is not just I was eating pull on back statements and other stuff. Now you go through systematically near the business. It was local. So we are one of the business in a person Afra. If you employ an accountant, they're able to help you streamline things properly. Nice to do taxes or records near clean because I say I asked for any a year auditor. You have the supporting documentation, very clean, very organized, and also our present time they're very important to have a schedule of your income and expenses. So try and keep all your receipts for the expenses, Not even if a basic Excel spreadsheet to Krana, so about document be a vendor ni receipt number ni this is the amount. Be a the way and I would describe typing in at the end of the year, the tax preparer can use that. If your budget copies of your receipts to show the documentation of what you have typed in there to help augment the other bay of taxes, And they're very important. If you have a business, it might be growing. Hire an accountant, hire a bookkeeper, hire a consultant that you can pay them to do the job for you. Most of the time, there are people excuse me to say, almost 30 business. People are making millions of dollars in a year, but no more doing say business they buying and selling to here accountant. I don't know what they are go for no. Because they didn't really know the bearing of how much they are really making the financial health of their business. Yeah, it is an be normal spending be normal but it was a china was a normal basa and employ someone or consult with someone, pay them, let them do it for you because I don't know goes a long way to pay off. All right. And say business not say be so we hear need na and that's why individual not so we hear any kind of need be especially when your tax situation is a bit complex idea. We encourage you to reach out to us. We've helped people and we're able to help you. Like I believe that maybe at the right time you put our information on there, but at this point, they're not making say very important. Say once we ensure our tax records, they are complete and they are very organized before filing now, and my process is very smooth. And say banners are not to say I for those kind of documents is BBI cleaner. It doesn't, they do not delay processing in case you need you are getting a refund. It's not delayed and all that. My BBI is smooth. It made it. Manobis here. Now, a few questions about as time or permit. Yeah, get the basic say.
Yami Mampacho opening Berko Manuel C. Machomama Yemi and Tuna Yemusa questions I owe.
Show me what question that. It's hello.
Pacho bet me obisa.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
Pacho, now can say you bet me I itemize your health bills. How much of it can we itemize? And what are we showing? The receipt that say you tria and I say and half I guess that's what I wanted to know. How much are you to me itemize it? And what are we showing them? The receipt or the actual bill?
Well, okay, yeah, I think that is a very important question. Say about taxation more. I say actual accounting to show the financial health of a business and customer. You'll be a accrual accounting. I'm not really going into it. But so about taxation, tax operates on a cash basis. So tax accounting is cash accounting. In other words, in taxation, when you have not paid a bill, you don't count it as an expense. Maybe say yes, understanding. So now you only count something as an expense when you have actually paid for it, either by check or cash or by whatever. When you have, lost some resource in obtaining service, when you have paid for it. And yet invoice and as a bill, but a receipt, what you have paid for the most part. Okay, how much can you itemize for medical expenses? Normally, a year threshold, which are for an set 7.5%, the excess of 7.5%, and I said the excess of the expense over 7.5% of your AGI. AGI are adjusted gross income. So assuming say your gross income was $100,000. 7.5% is going to be 7.5 of that. Yeah. So like assuming that's going to be about 7,500. Yeah. So when that happens now, that means that the excess of your medical expense over that. So assuming your medical expense was $10,000, the excess of that over $7,500 or $2,500. And this $2,500 now be to media account or deductions as medical expense. And the question, that is the answer. In case there's a follow-up, maybe an answer. Yeah.
Pastor, you have more questions, sir?
Me Pacho, me one question.
Pastor, bet me a bisa.
Me Pacho, my friend Busana said, me fan so wofi, na utuya light bill, utuya gas. Sane ma fa let us out me kan ho ana.
Baby.
All right, thank you.
The attendance, those in your manner are considered personal expenses. Your no maybe out in deducted. If you are on a light bill or gas bill and then come on, unless they be a running business in our home office, and then you're able to allocate some of the cost to your home office now. What deducted as part of your business expenses, but other than that, and then own to me, I'm from a account say hey. Rent fee and as a beer or fee or gas bill and electricity bill, they are all personal expenses.
That's your next question, bet me up.
Pacho, the question is with the IRS forecast, now sir, of file tax, BC saying
Me patrol or question or moon shada now. Say all the IR for can as offer let tax a basis and me shada until say. But you with me a bio or question any
Penny akwampacho betimi agina baby ye kakra online mu twetwesi.
Okay, well, my main count kakra. For the most part, no. So yes, how the IR4 can say oh follow taxes are. Most of the time, no, when they are able, not necessarily refunder on befa when they are able, but say oh, but council manager say canana be and the minimum what specific year out of this, but normally no. When you owe the IRS as much as they are able, so unya refunder on farm. There is a situation, and honestly, there are situations where ABA more married couple na assuming ABA Bemano and the IRS for but Obama and the IRS for so more valuable monase so munya refunder. IRS for normally come first cano. But and I'm saying no banning the IRS for canity or more be a injured spouse allocation. In other words, no, and your ban a decan, I beman a decano. And the they will be fair. In what sense? There's a form that they can send you to complete. Say, okay, say who says the IRS for complete that form. That form helps them allocate the portion of the refund and na aye there. Na normally you see cabro. Na beman or decano. Yafa on the refund no. Until the no.
Pacho you go so your questions.
If I told me our question view. To make a fair.
Pacho to make us.
If I told. But about when I say, yes, I will no come file taxi, I boom one answer, the other file the dear. That's
What question we dear? Where is so only how can I say more another boy? Really, one cause
no, they tell me was as I said, oh, I saw one file more. We just can't say, oh, Mummy, best file a bomono. It's a me was as I know.
In design here. So I'm quite fine. Not as on convenience car, sending a wire, sir, and I'm what. So I was like, Anna, agent, and you might be brave. So, my worry, Anna, I for almost encourages mobile joint returns for the most part because I establish it, so relationship, and they like it that way. And for that reason, if you are married and you file separately, almost penalize or no man can get to be some fancy beer education credit. Another bit my claim when you are married and you are filing separately. Because the charter's credit say it goes down at some point. Like they penalize you somehow on those stuffs. Earned income credit and other bits matter. There are a lot of benefits. So we joint, if you are filing joint, let's say be where any other filing status like head of household, qualifying widow, and as be a surviving spouse, and as be a single, as Hannah Malan Cabignano. Say what warrant say, file separately, I am penalize it or minimize it or reduce those credits. Sometimes, or tax bracket, like or tax rate in the cost. So you end up losing. But when reasons be to say beer, okay, assuming say beer, mum you know be like obia or loans ebia mo pese mo hwe ebia loans no like was utu based on your income na se mo koy joint as can be brainsa no ombe pese mo to be brave for that reason ebia mo pese mo be separate so that be like obia be present ne de separately with on one income na loan na I was mo to back na I according to mo income na any be brave no. For some of those reasons, and maybe move to file it separately, you know, that's okay. But more worried, and it was a mobile file journal. Munya so many benefits. And one thing I've realized is that people are married, but they don't file joint, but I'm file it individually as head of households. So file as head of householder. You need a dependent. In TV, not much and quite a good Susano. Or some of the Dutch no son, just out to me, your fan be Sana go for be. They are not making say, for maybe a munch and marry from one but if you are some marry from one day, I ran a day beboa. And a two, I don't see is the right thing to do. Because to qualify as head of household, you need to be unmarried and also considered unmarried. So if you're married, some people say so single, that's all dependent. One or two be a motor in China, that's all young warrior. You qualify as head of household. That's you pay for more than half of their support and all those other mana qualify to be head of household. Now you qualify as head of household, which is really good. But to be head of household, you should be unmarried or considered unmarried. Considered unmarried, and they say it require more about for 6 months or more during the year, no. Like you do not live at the same place. You know, you lived at separate places during the year for 6 months or more. So you're able to file as head of household with a dependent on your return. But most people live in the same household, yet they file as head of household, no much and you're right. And yet by law, no, and you're right. And I know that that's what a lot of people do now, or more. And yes, can be brave. But so when I say we are married and filing separately, normally I don't tell you refund case. Because somebody does in the first place now, so and you don't end up getting much. But head of house no more and be say unima because our tax preparer as a saying or the status on the amount. Then you determine whether you would want to continue doing that. Most of the time, when some go for on cut, so they're able to do that. And then once you are married, and you're right, but legally, and you're wrong because you are not married on paper. But ethically, it might not be right, but legally, and you're wrong because you are not married on paper. And a whole lot of things, a whole lot of things. May add more information for the Obusa question to ask in the tax preparer. Say, a status no demand. Say, married and filing separately. You don't really have to expect more refund because then comes up penalize you be most likely head of household, which says sanity there. That's okay, but say sanity, find out from a tax preparer and make a decision if you are going to continue with that.
Thank you.
Me the question I busa but Berko na me kasa me danase mama mun ke mumba na mahase mitimi kasa. Hello?
Ashot kasa.
Yeah, but Berko eno kunye. Me kasa from UK. Sia na me join me nya information me join na na. But we say me brother tax returns but say UK and US difference with taxing. Yes, I can busa question you to but ABA na question me busa na because UK laws need different from US laws. But the make us Berko me bo about some in fact work with him. The Michelle na kwaso ako with your platform so na me hu ye say no be show be say they see the best na me buy and buy no wapo and sentiment me details about it but the make anyans go point Michelle na kwaso ko with him don't want say
amen I'm a classmate I was in secondary school so many years ago. And okay, all right, good to hear from you.
Hello, Mpacho
also.
Mpacho, me a question.
Mpacho,
Mpacho, my question is, me besides maybe I feel be a cocoa play, Jumana, maybe I walk or plans, I obey orientation, and not sometimes orientation or mucha. Let's say be a 1 year Juma that I feel now. Mpacho, the brower, do you have to file it? Thank you.
Yeah. You man why ain't so somebody or do to be also the count. The person chance any document be a binya has document, come out as prepare na nyama fan count. And they're very simple. Say $2 or say $3 or say orientation, you want to in account be.
That's it.
Me pacho, my question is eba ne sen na ebia wo fa letters federal na wenye ska na ebia state wa boka na wo se ukuchie ska.
Yeah, federal ne laws are different from state laws. State be one laws. And the state normally they pick off of the adjusted gross income from the federal normal adjustment. And some states may allow some credits that some states may not allow. In the regional state also. In the state in the federal and nyepe obia na nemra. Some states may give some extra exemptions that the federal is not going to give. So there are differences in the BAT Banasana. But just what I say.
Ane me that's it.
All right.
Actually, I will be 5 minutes. View us in the city and Pacho with me.
Me pacho, me question is say, ye mama mo ba retirement no mo fee no. At the end of the year no, how is their taxes done?
Some just social security and normal some just social security. I don't know the year, social security for Sunday almost statement. So just go and give that statement to your tax preparer. They'll figure it out.
Pacho, me be ka miss Easter questions no hono. On say bia wo maame e bia wa ba onye adwuma. But ne social security number. And I mean fan say wo fie. E no e ba ne sa na wo ye ne den wo betimi de na fale ana say
Yes, as a dependent. So now we're they depend on you, yeah. So it's enough as a dependent. Yeah. Okay. I'm saying, may GDC be at the BCR? There are no more questions. But all question Biana. Over to me after. I mean, appropriately, you go to our website and book a consultation. So, over to my friend. Then we just talk on the phone. My family phone number to you. I would have loved to share my card here, but I'm not sure if people are going to access it easily. But let me put my phone number on there. 614-477-2761. 614-477-2761. Mr. Also, make sure that you know what you're going to be talking about because I am telling you what's that. Na young call no naposo. Now, if there's a help that you need that we're able to help, I will be more than happy to help. Now, I will send the email so info at Berko CPA BERKO CPA.org. info@berkocpa.org. I think they be under my type what chat box. All right. Enti medemano. Every say I say not my chairman coordinator.
You, Mr. Berko, Yami Shaw degree, and you may addition or the amay no addition, and we are paying a Hawaiian paying Yami only show. Yami Maya, the Indian who so as say you may so yes we are bad, addition see Yenya Chefa, a woman. Okoye chats ni more, Mr. Berko edit the number any email address at home temperature with me. Atre at home here now a friend or said okay yede aseda MCB radio say you so will streaming in programming echo YouTube sound so na yede aseda my yonkudo radio so say you program come say or the YouTube amai the best saying is so be antimi ama ibetimi amanako CB radio Ghana and I say yonkudo radio ewo YouTube na wako akoshe nyame ya adomo next week so 5 to 6 we share ewo Zoom live ya so nyame hira nyina na on kan ho nyimre ya yinhira on so yinhira sa Mr. Berko so nyame hira bebre ya da wase ene onre no wadaje nyame hira nti ye program ye be se Mr. Berko say ubebo paye na afi udi na ahyinya koponsa amai.
Okay, me mo mpai. Awade da wasese o ma yakonya na yasa abadwundwuna yensika semu. Yedim say no so hia kosora kontu no. Yes, trust a boy. Na the here ultimately ne say obo ne etime ja bone ye. Na odo nkonkona hye mana bebe ya adwen etime siu so. Etima semro na se de bia mpai ene wase nsuam. Etima twa ben wo yi. Na ba nya dum wonim. Obright to me, my phone really nice so because it's a good mono. You best I share you or the boys.